Hey, happy lunch to everybody, Max Troiani included. It's edition 3 of Bird Bites.
Thanks for having me, I appreciate it.
Thanks so much for hanging out. Here at the Knack in Cape Cod, it's a fantastic day, Max. You got the double avocado burger.
Yes, I did. You got the single?
I got the single because this is edition 3 for me. It's not edition, this is the only time you're here. This is the third time I'm here, but it is fantastic. We're featuring the shakes today.
Yeah, I'm pumped.
Yes, this is going to be fantastic.
Yeah.
So before we go into you, we're going to go into the shakes. We're going to cheers it,
Cheers.
right?
Thanks,
Wow,
Scotty.
what a day.
Yeah.
Yep. The vanilla is dank.
Chocolate peanut butter is rich. It's I'm trying to think of a good descriptive word.
Yeah.
It's like wine tasting, but shake tasting. It's elegant. It's pure.
I don't really know the right
oaky,
words. The empty. Yeah, it's the oaky taste.
Yeah, it's like an oaky and a fruit.
It is. Yeah, it's very fruity or peanut butter or whatever, right?
Yeah.
All right, let's talk about you. You're in from Bentley. You know, the story of Max Troiani, for those who may not know, coming into this season was, who is this guy? He's from a small school. He's playing in the Cape Cod Baseball League with guys from some of the biggest, most well-known baseball schools in the country. And here you are, an everyday player. You've reached as high as the best batting average in the Cape League. That's pretty cool.
Pretty cool. Yeah.
And there's a dog.
Oh, pretty cool. Dude, for me, it's just about taking one day at a time and just allowing myself to, be grateful for what I have. Not only on the field, but off the field. Having just a great host family and being able to go home to a safe place outside of my actual house.
Yeah.
But as for the performance on the field, I think it just goes to show that, talent is everywhere, and I think people choose schools not only based on baseball, because there's other life forces that, guide you in a direction towards a certain school, whether it be geographic, whether it be academic or financial or any other, factors that can force you to go to other schools, not necessarily baseball powerhouses. So I encourage others who aren't at the D1 level or, powerhouse baseball programs to continue to work hard and strive for the top, even though you're not in, that platform.
Yeah, so you have a cool story in the fact that it was the Cape Cod Baseball League or a very impressive finance internship, right?
Yes, in investment banking.
In investment banking, so it's kind of the big money internship or follow the dream, if for lack of a better term, right?
Right. So
how did that come about?
Yeah, no, that's a good question. So the investment banking job internship was acquired in February. This was right before. I actually interviewed the Friday or the Thursday before we went to Florida to start our season. So I interviewed, then hopped on a plane an hour later, and then Monday I got that job, and I was pumped because I had so much career aspiration.
Right.
I worked my butt off in the library, in the classroom, to be able to represent myself in the classroom as well as on the field. And that's what Bentley University prides itself on, is at least 2 internships before going into the corporate world. So I had one last summer, and I got this one. I really didn't even know what banking was until September. Through the whole job application process, the big banks, they do their recruiting in May, June, July.
Yeah.
And the last thing I was thinking of when I was starting my first internship was applying to the next one. So I just totally missed the wave. So I was late to it. So I knew I wanted to go into higher level financing.
Kind of in panic mode a little bit.
Yeah. So I knew I wanted to get there. It's just a matter of how. So I found this boutique, a couple Bentley alumni. Anyway, got the job, and then I had a good season, and New York Yankees scout Matt Hyde, I believe it was him who talked to Kelly, who got me the temp here. And so I worked it out with work. I talked to the people who are closest to me, and they said, dude, you have to take the opportunity to at least try it. Go for a couple weeks, have a vacation. It'll be an experience to tell your kids about. So I came
play
here.
X amount of games.
Exactly. So I knew I had to perform well. I was going to get, 5 games.
Yeah.
So I told work, hey, I'll be back in 2 weeks. I made up the time before. It was all good. And then decision day came. And on that day, I was hitting very well. had to call every single human being in my repertoire of.
You didn't call me.
Well, we had talked. We had talked prior.
Yeah.
But I talked to my family, my coaches, at high school, college, travel ball, just to get all of their viewpoints. And at the end of the day, it just came down to happiness and opportunity. So, where was I going to be the happiest? Because happiness is hard to come by in life. I just wanted to pick, the spot or the place that would make me the happiest moving forward. And obviously that's here over sitting at a desk. My buddy put it the best way. He said, dude, you have 6 more weeks in the Cape and you have 50 plus years to go sit at a desk. So that was a pretty easy decision there. And then opportunity. I'm always going to be able to go back and sit at a desk. It's just a matter of I'm never going to get this opportunity again. So that's why I chose to stay, after being offered, obviously.
I know you spoke with every member of your family, and while you eat, I'm going to kind of get a breakdown on Max, as you kind of just heard. I think in everybody's life they've had that time where it's, route A or route B, and it's kind of a difficult decision. I know that's what you had, in the fact that I can go do this internship, or I can keep playing baseball in this league that I've thrived in, to date. And I know that must be so hard, and you mentioned happiness and opportunity. I want to dive kind of more into happiness in terms of your time here. What has that really been for you?
So, honestly, I didn't expect the guys to be this, I didn't expect us to gel this much, or to, because, we come from all walks of life. We have our own values and cultures and whatever. But, man, we're so close. Win or lose, I think the winning has brought us together a lot.
Yeah.
Win or lose, our ability to welcome new players who have come in as others leave, and say goodbye to those players who are leaving, and keep them as friends, forever, I think is, it speaks to how great this opportunity is, in this league. Just sets people up for friendships for life. So happiness for me is, dude, coming out to the baseball field every day. I get to eat lunch with you.
Yeah, right? Are you kidding me?
And,
that's great happiness.
And being in Orleans, man, the community is just great. So they're making this summer one to remember.
You mentioned the guys coming and going on this team. I will say I'm not the smartest business guy, all right? I'm not a smart business guy. My parents are business people, so I have a little bit, like 1% of...
Okay, it's in your blood.
Yeah, it's in my blood, exactly. You have to think, you're meeting these guys. In terms of business, down the line, I feel like that's got to help you in just terms of connections and networking with all these people.
Yeah, so one of the arguments or the viewpoints that was brought up to me by my coach at high school was, Max, you're going to open so many doors down here, regardless of if you go back to your internship or not. By staying here, you don't know how many other doors you're going to open up in the business world, just because, obviously there's wealth down here. You have vacation homes. There's a bunch of wealth management places, and not to mention, the fans are, have Cape homes, and there's a lot of wealth down here. So I'm thankful that I have made a couple connections so far, and just looking for more moving forward.
You spend a lot of time with the trainer Alex.
Yeah.
A lot of time at the Body Strong Fitness Gym here. This is not proudly presented by the Knack, not Body Strong, but Body Strong is proudly presented by Max Troiani, I'd like to say. You guys, it's every day, I think, since you've been here, right?
Yeah. So Body Strong is, obviously it's just Alex, and that's the place we work. But no, my relationship with Alex is great. On the first day, I went up to him and I said, hey, I need a workout plan. And he's like, well, what do you do already? And I was explaining how Bentley doesn't actually have a lifting program. And that's the coach's choice. And it's on your own to do whatever you want to do. It's just unlike Division I baseball powerhouses, because they have their own gyms and their own programs.
Yeah.
So he was like, all right, so we went to the gym, and he's like, all right, I'm just going to, look at your body, see how you move, and then I'll just give you a plan. And then he was like, well, why don't I just train you for today? And then, so he trained me today, and then that turned into tomorrow and the next day. And so every day we've been training, but I've learned so much from him. He's such a good guy. At Simone Baseball Performance, the best baseball performance trainer. or in the country, and he's based out of Austin, Texas, and we're so privileged to have him for the summer.
Yeah, it's pretty fun to watch you guys work. I know it's not only at the field, but before the games, it's you and him. It's not really much working out, it's more stretching and almost just kind of, it looks like you're visualizing with him 20, 30 minutes before the games begin.
Yeah, that's, we do some visualization. We also do pre-game like skipping, A skip, B skip, Frankenstein's, just to get the blood going and shock the nervous system. He's so smart, I trust him, and I would recommend him to any ball player out there.
So that's your pre-game routine. I know during the games, I got the great opportunity to see Andrea Troiani, Jacob, and Zach Troiani screaming and yelling at you on the field. I want to kind of focus in on each member of your family and Jacob too, because they kind of seem like your support system to the absolute fullest.
Absolutely.
Let's start with your mom. She is fantastic. I got to meet her. She's the loudest mom out there and loves her son.
So, yes, Mama Bear, Andrea, she's definitely the loudest. What I love about her is her energy and her positive energy. One of the values that she raised me on was unconditional love from her. No matter if I strike out 3 times like I did at Wareham while she was there, she was still, smiling and joyous as I walked off the field. But no, even going back to like Pee Wee football and Little League baseball, there's videos you can always hear her just absolutely screaming. So I know the Sue and Nancy enjoyed her presence, and I'm so glad she came down. That was actually the first college baseball game she's ever seen me play.
Really?
Yeah.
I know it was for Zach too. He said he's never got to see you play at Bentley.
Yeah. So Zach, he in a lot of job interviews, and I guess this one too, I attribute my competitive nature to Zach fully. I mean, we would compete on every single aspect of life, whether it's who could touch the car first on the way back from the grocery store, who could run the fastest, jump the highest, throw the fastest. So, it's because of him that I worked so hard, and it was, the work ethic was instilled in me. So I have nothing but good things and gratefulness for Zach.
So Zach is 2 years older than you. He at what point did you start beating him in these competitions?
Okay, so he was always big brother. He always had the size. It's tough. Like when you're 30 and 32, it's like the same.
Yeah.
But like when you're 10 and 12,
it's a world of difference.
Yeah. So it wasn't really until I would say junior year of high school, because he stopped playing in college, that I began to fill out, and he started becoming skinnier and more lean. But I would say junior year of high school was when I started to kind of take off.
Your dad has been here twice, and at both different times, I think he's seen a different way of play from you in just terms of everything. But he's a guy that your mom is so kind of scream, yelly, passionate about the game. He's kind of the more laid-back guy, it looks like to me.
Yeah, it's crazy. Opposites attract, man. He's so quiet. He's not quiet and reserved, but he's reserved.
Just relaxed,
when it counts.
It looks like.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So he's not, blabbing when it doesn't matter. Not to say my mom does that, but some other people just talk too much.
Yeah.
My dad waits for the right time to talk, and I respect him for that. And I'd like to do that more myself. I think everyone should talk less and think more, and that's why he's been one of my role models in life. It's just because he knows when to talk and what to say.
I feel like you've kind of learned that just from observing him your entire life?
Yeah, and just the way he's fathered me. That's one of the things that he has taught me along the way, and just through observation as well, is don't talk until you've thought, and then you can speak.
I don't know if you saw this. I might have sent it to you. On Father's Day, I got to chat with a number of the dads at the baseball game, which was, I believe, in Bourne. Yeah, the doubleheader in Bourne. And at the end of each interview with the different dads there, I'd say, if there's one thing you'd like to say to the dads across the country, what would it be? And his was, play ball with your kids. Just no matter what, they ever want to play catch, football, baseball, soccer, anything, play ball with your kids. Is that kind of how it was growing up with him?
Absolutely. And I did see the interview, and it was good. But yeah, he was always my coach through Little League, and he's Asher's coach right now, but through Little League, through Babe Ruth, which is like the travel ball, all the way up until modified in high school. But he would coach in the summer. He's always been the coach. He's always been the one to hit ground balls to me, to throw football passes to Zach and I one-on-one in the yard. He's always been the one to go out and, sacrifice his time after work to, for our fun, satisfaction, and our performance. So, once again, I just want to thank him for that.
Jacob, your friend, is a guy that started a brawl at Bentley in terms of his love for you. I talked to him at the game, and I said, like, is this just for fun or is it just out of love? He goes, oh man, I love Max. I scream and yell for him because I love that guy. He kind of picks fights during the games. It's really, really fun to watch.
Yeah.
But I know having a friend like that has got to be the coolest thing in the world.
It's amazing. Just for Jacob to have that support for me and what I'm going through is, you always want to have friends like that. And he always likes to say, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. And I'm glad that he's one of the 5. He's been one of my best friends for, 5-7 years now. So just, grateful to have him around. But yeah, once again, he picks some fights. He knows how to. So the funny thing is, he really doesn't know the game that much. He's learning.
Yeah.
But he just knows how to get in people's heads, which is funny because he brings a new perspective to the game that other people wouldn't see. Calling like curveballs in the dirt like a bounce pitch, and just like it's funny to watch and listen, especially on the field.
So everybody has their, the support system, and I think out of everybody, the biggest, I'd say, support system or inspiration to you is Asher, your younger brother. He's 11 years old. To be kind of the role model for him and be the example for him. I know he loves you. Getting to watch him watch you play baseball, it's really cool. But what does Asher mean to you?
Yeah, I would like to think he loves me. He'll never tell me to my face. He never hops on the phone, but no, he's young. He'll get there. But what Asher means to me is he's blood, obviously, but he's also Zach and my younger brother.
Yeah.
And I know I talked about the bond that Zach and I have through our competitive nature, and that's something that we're trying to instill in him because it's provided dividends for Zach and I, whether it's in school or sports or anything. So we're just trying to be the best role models we can be on and off the field. When he was here, he's pretending like he was playing on my shoulder. Like Skip always says, pretend like someone's playing on your shoulder. And that was me. It was Asher, and that's who I was representing, and that's who I want to go out. Even if you strike out, you still sprint to left field, and you take your throws and stuff, regardless of the at bat. So it's just a matter of teaching him the right way to play the game. The skills will come along. It's just a matter of if you have the right attitude. That's the biggest thing. So I'm just happy he came down and got to see me play.
So I think the coolest thing for me all summer, and I think you did see me see this happen. You told Kelly that you're staying for the summer, that you're gonna stay, and he's a guy that will get happy but not go crazy. But he went crazy. He jumped out of his seats, and we've talked about this before, and it was just so cool, the fact that how happy he was to see you. I thought that was such a special moment for me, and I wasn't even a part of it.
Yeah, no, I definitely think that was a special moment for Kelly to do that because, although he is such an emotional, eccentric, and happy guy, I never would have suspected him to throw himself at me after telling him that I was going to stay. And it also provided me closure on the fact that I made a good decision that day, and it was just a good cherry on the top to have your Skip, kind of give you a nice big hug for staying.
He's been a special mentor for you, and I know he has for really everybody. And I know we touched on all your family members for how they've been great, mentors for you and everything. But away from Orleans and away from your immediate family, do you have a mentor or somebody that you've learned much off of? Who do you think it would be?
So yeah, away from my family and Orleans, Alex Rodriguez has kind of stepped into my mentor spotlight just because of his ability to balance both baseball and business. For me, my decision between baseball and business and banking had its pros and cons, but I think A-Rod provides me hope to one day do both. And I think although he did it, not simultaneously, you have to throw yourself at either one or the other. It provides hope for me that I can, one day return to the business world and have success.
For the last one, we're always going to end it here. It's kind of a special, I guess, tradition now in Bird Bites here. First off, Max Troiani, Firebirds outfielder, fantastic human being. Thank you for hanging out here. I'll do the thank yous before.
Yeah.
If there's one life quote, philosophy, or a verse that you like to or hope to or already do live your life by, what would it be?
Yeah, one quote I've always lived by is that hard work beats talent when talent fails to work hard. And I think coming from a Division II baseball program, you definitely need to work harder than a lot of the other guys who have the talent. So that's something I've always lived by and will continue to.
Incredible determination.
Appreciate it.
Happiness and opportunity.
Yes.
That is Max Troiani. And this is Max Troiani. We're going to finish our berry peanut butter
Okies, shake.
We're going to finish these guys.
Whatever they
Thank
are.
you to the Knack for hosting us, as always. And thank you, most of all, to Max Troiani for hanging out.
Thank you,
Got a
Scotty.
special
I
game today.
appreciate it.
Again, really do appreciate it.